I want to ask you, you've talked about economic issues involved in these decisions. How much of this is an issue of class? I ask because the late Congressman Henry Hyde from Illinois, who sponsored the Hyde Amendment way back in 1976 that prevents Medicaid from funding abortion care, he said this, quote, "I certainly would like to prevent, if I could legally, anybody having an abortion, a rich woman, a middle-class woman, or a poor woman. Unfortunately, the only vehicle available is the Medicaid bill, which means that poor women have been affected by the crusade against abortion." How do you see this playing out in your work?
I think of Rosa Jimenez, who was a 27-year-old college student. She had a 5-year-old daughter. She was getting a nursing degree. She really wanted to succeed in this country, and she faced an unintended pregnancy. And because she was low income, because she was a recipient of Medicaid, she was denied access to an abortion because of Henry Hyde. And she sought a back alley abortion and died as a consequence. So this has real implications. She was the first known victim of the Hyde Amendment, and I'm sure these stories happen many times over, and women are just disproportionately impacted, and particularly, again, those at the margins and who are most vulnerable.
You remind me of some statistics I saw the other day from the Guttmacher Institute. It reports that among poor women, the rate of unintended pregnancy is 5 times higher than it is for higher income women. That 4 in 10 women who have abortions are poor. What do you make of that from your own work?
That, because women don't have access to some of the basic health care to prevent pregnancy, so the fact that contraception is often out of reach. For Latinas, for example, 97% of sexually experienced Latinas have used a form of contraception, but consistent use has been a problem. So that's when they fall under an unintended pregnancy situation. And they're often scrambling to get abortion care, often borrowing money from friends or trying other avenues. So where some of them are able and successful to get the abortion, there's also so many unintended pregnancies that go to term because of these policies.
Well, it's also a strategy that until recently especially, the only Supreme Court successes in limiting abortion for many years had been when they combined abortion with a vulnerable, less politically powered group. So it would be abortion in young women, or abortion and women of color and low-income women. And they would get restrictions passed there. That clearly isn't enough, and they're expanding it and expanding it, which is why suddenly we recognize a war on women, because it's affecting white women too. But there has always been this war on women.
Do you think there is a war on women?
I think there has always been. Whether you look at how Native American women were treated from the beginning of this country's origins, to sterilization abuse of Puerto Rican women and women, white women who were perceived to have to be mentally disabled. We have always used reproduction and fought against women's freedom and liberty, whether it was women in slavery, women winning the vote. Every inch of our freedom, including our reproductive freedom, has been hard won. And there has been a backlash, and we're in a very big backlash now. I think it's so big that what's happened is that women are beginning to recognize that what's at stake is more than abortion. It is their personhood, their ability to be full, equal, constitutional persons in the United States of America.